I'm streaming. If I'm not streaming, I'm recording now, and then I'll just be a minute or so. I'm looking for something to talk about, same as usual. Okay, be very careful about pushing forwards that far. Typically, you want to poke from a little bit of a distance, and then you want to be holding past that choke. You don't want to be walking too far forwards. So in the past, if you recall, we probably talked about using choke points and whatnot. So make sure we're utilizing this choke point that's like right in front of us and letting them walk forwards into us. Just because that's such cut out. Just because that's just such great positioning for us to be in.
I gotta adjust the sounds in a second. I can hardly hear you.
Okay, all good.
Oh man.
Alright, a little bit on the open. Besides that, maybe looking to go and push those squishies rather than looking at the tanks as options. Right, but besides that, just the initial thing was holding choke.
Like Bob did some work.
When you're walking back from spawn, remember you can do that jump right click and then you can get back
Oh
faster and whatnot.
yeah, I was using my other hand to adjust the sound. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, all good. Alright, so walking straight through the open, make sure we're using cover. Additionally, I was seeing a little bit of like spam left clicking, so you're going like tap 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 rather than holding down your left click. Make sure you're holding down your left click. It's just going to lead to more inconsistency if you're just spamming it and you'll kill people slower. And then besides that, maybe a couple right clicks or we could have been left clicking, right? So a lot of the basics here, make sure keeping them in mind, stuff we've already gone over in the past. Bubble, energy-wise, you've been looking decent. Just working on staying alive and actually doing things. And then for the moment, we need to get energy back. Yeah, right now we want to get high energy, so we could like be pushing forwards and just like making them look at us and then bubbling for that. So kind of like drawing people's attention to yourself. Okay, keep ears open because both those supports were behind you when you didn't hear them. Okay, bubbling faster there takes us a lot less, preserves our life a lot, takes a lot of damage away. Means we can block that helix, for example. We also, once again, very far out in the open. Additionally, make sure that when you're low energy, you're not just letting them come to you to give you energy, right? Push towards them, draw their attention to yourself. You want to force them to shoot at your bubbles, right? Or encourage them to shoot at your bubbles. You don't want to be sitting all the way in the back and waiting for them to come to you to shoot at your bubbles. Okay.
I know I use it. Don't use it second. I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Done that.
So in that situation,
And
I wasn't paying attention to how many teammates we had. I think we were maybe down a couple teammates, so I don't think we should have been pushing that aggressively. Because especially we were down a Reinhardt. But then besides that, if they have a shield and you don't, and you have nothing to combo with, then going for a grab isn't really the best play. Okay, very nice. Okay, you guys, as of the current moment, are very far pushed forwards because if somebody goes around, they could back cap you pretty easily, right? Absolutely nobody's on point there. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't know what your team's doing.
Ooh, almost fell off.
So there, you're just not able to push forwards because of how close cart is to. You need to hold on cart. And then right now we shouldn't be pushing. We're down people, so we want to make sure we're paying attention to the fact that we're down. Now we're up, right? Reinhardt's back. Okay, so once again, we're holding like around cart. Typically, like in this situation, your best holding position would be like on the back end of cart, because then you can hold hold them on bridge and hold them in the choke points of the castle. Yeah, if people aren't, then you just keep your eye on cart and hold up with them, right? From here, you can get back pretty fast, right? So just watch the top, and you want to be up there participating still. So yeah, all you have to do is just watch the top of your screen, because it'll show you if there's enemies on point, right? Because in that situation, if somebody touches point, you have probably like 10 seconds to go and turn around and get to it, which is more than enough time if you're watching it, right? And if you're watching the top of your screen. But if you're watching, you'll see it when somebody's on cart, and then therefore you can go and try to contest them. So just keep an eye on it. Don't be oblivious to it. But then you should probably be up helping your team rather than sitting back. Now,
Gotcha.
when the cart was 3 seconds away from capping, that's where you have to stay on point. You can't just push 6 people forwards, because then they could send literally anybody to go touch cart for 3 seconds and you lose, right? And you can't get
Yeah.
back to it in 3 seconds. 10 seconds, yes. 3 seconds, no. So that's the difference in how you're making those decisions.
Okay.
Attack commences in 30 seconds.
You still playing any other games?
Still playing a bit of Overwatch, bit of Apex. Trying to think if I was playing anything else. Don't think I've been playing a ton of anything else. I play like a little bit of Terraria. Yep. Just make sure we're hugging cover, so that as soon as our bubble runs out, we can duck behind. Okay, good job. Definitely say one of the bigger reoccurring themes is making sure that we're using cover, right? So keep your eye on how close are we to objects, right? Because it's all over the place. We just want to make sure we're using them. So that just means like if we're peeking for bubble energy, we don't want to sit there for 5 seconds, because then we take unnecessary damage. We peek, we bubble, we back, right? So using cover is how you can do that very easily. Okay. That's unfortunate that he shatters us, but
Whoa.
okay. Make sure we're just getting out of the way of that shatter, because that kind of booped us back into, just letting him get close enough boops us into that corner, which wasn't very good for us. Right now we're just trying to get energy, because we weren't at any energy during that last fight. Okay. You saw a lot of people spamming that doorway. Probably could have walked in it yourself and not taken a lot of damage. Yeah, this now is where you want to be getting aggressive, not backing. Right? You have your Reinhardt pushing in and getting aggressive. You're 100 energy.
Oh man, that was my idea. Okay.
Yeah, they're all low in there. Make sure you're pushing in, right? Getting in range to do things. I definitely like to see us up, like, understand, because we talk about aggression scaling. We need to understand when our aggression should be on those high ends, because sometimes our aggression never peaks above, like, oh.
Hello?
Okay. So, in general, I would say that our aggression never peaks very high above 70, right?
Okay.
We aren't getting aggressive enough in situations where we should be getting aggressive, and then that's going to have a very heavy impact on the value you can get, because you can't really get value if you're not playing aggressive, right? Getting aggressive is how you attain value. And that's not to say that you can play aggressive all the time, every time. You have to understand when not to play aggressive, but you also have to understand when can I get aggressive. And there's situations where we just kind of sit around where we should be pushing and we should be getting aggressive. Another thing, like just mindset playstyle wise, is it seems as though we're approaching fights thinking I'm gonna spam and I'm gonna do damage, right? When I want the mindset to be I'm gonna come in here and I'm looking for kills and I'm gonna kill this specific person and now I'm going to kill this specific person, right? So coming in with the intent to kill, picking out a target to kill, and then actively chasing after killing that target, right? Opposed to coming into the fight and just kind of playing super passive and sitting there and poking with right click and then eventually maybe killing something. So in general, I just kind of like to see that mindset shift so that we're focused on getting the kill. So you can go ahead and queue up.
Okay.
So I guess like things to think about: cover usage, intentionally aiming for kills, and then aggression scaling and making sure that we're getting aggressive when situations call for being aggressive. So while we're going through, I might help give you reminders for aggression scaling. Just remember that it's going to be, how many kills are we up? Is the fight happening? How many people are currently looking at me, right? Like if you're like 100 energy and nobody's really looking at you, then you might be able to push forwards a little bit because you don't have any pressure, right? Like it's pressure when people are staring at us and shooting at us. Um, so yeah, paying attention to all those different things. Do I have opportunities to secure kills? You can play more aggressive when you have opportunities. What are my resources looking like, right? You can't play aggressive if you don't have resources, but you can if you do.
Oh man.
Remember, just doing that right click tech to just get there faster. Number one priority right now is that energy. Yeah. Probably could have bubbled the monkey there when he was taking a bunch of damage.
Well, not when he's not taking any.
Okay. Probably don't want to be chasing ball around too much. Looking for a different target is probably the way to go. Especially when we're in 0 energy.
Okay.
Okay, once again, bubbling him just slightly faster when he is taking damage, not when he's jumping out. Okay, right now we're pushing forward so we can bubble ourselves. Alright,
Jeez.
still
She got-
number one priority is still energy. Watch the cover usage, we're straying out into the open. Okay, so number one issue is that we just didn't have energy the entire fight. We also played a little bit out in the open when we probably should have been hugging that left side corner a little bit harder, right? Using that as cover. Then, like, additionally, keep in mind that you have more range than the Symmetra, so maybe don't step within her range, right? Because then she can
Okay.
just beam you down. Unless you're bubbling.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm getting rolled around. I think I'm gonna switch.
Yep,
Maybe I.
additionally, make sure you're sticking with your team, because I think we went right side and our team didn't come right side with us. If I'm not mistaken there. It's possible I zoned out. Okay. Still low energy. Took a little bit to see those turrets. Make sure you're paying attention to that. There's very few things that slow us down in this game. Turrets are one of them. Okay, we're higher energy. Yeah, right now they're beyond the choke, so we are just poking a little bit. Okay, so
I got booped.
in that situation, look at where your team is right here. Not really close to us at all. So that's something we need to be aware of by looking around us, pressing, listening. Okay, possibly could have looked to use Grav that last fight, right? Because noting that if they win the fight, that's pretty much game over. They're at 90%, and we also had Doom ult that we could have comboed with, so we kind of needed to get that Grav off. Okay.
I tried to touch the corner there.
Gravs
and back out.
Grevs haven't been seeming to be getting. We haven't been seeming to get a lot of people in them. When we toss the Grav initially, we get them near the person, and then people walk. If it does get people, a lot of times it's because they walk into your Grav.
Yeah.
You don't want that to be the case, because at higher ranks, they won't just walk into your Grav. They will, in general, but they won't do it as frequently, right? Pretty much all, like, so far I've seen 2 grabs where you grab nobody and then have a couple people walk into it, right? So make sure that we're looking to grab on top of a big clump of people, right? 2 minimum, wait for them to group up, or is the way to go about it. So getting more people in their grabs. Yeah, besides that, maybe my focus supports a little bit more, right? Noting that if you have, say, Symmetra is not a bad target to focus by any means, but if Symmetra is being pocketed by a Mercy and a Moira, not going to be very easy, right, to kill the Symmetra. So that gets into target priority. Okay, right now our aggression wants to be like around 50. Make sure we're using cover, very far out in the open right now. Okay, playing really aggressive as the moment because we're high energy and we have bubble. Alright.
I just went into a mine.
Practice makes perfect.
Okay, remember we're getting bubbles in. We need to get that energy up.
Your best shot. My ultimate is ready.
Make sure we're watching kill feed there. At that
Yeah,
point, it's already lost
we
fight,
just
right?
lost. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was like a 2v5 at that point, alright? Very much a lost fight. Additionally, the fight could be won if we're using your ultimate sooner. So make sure we're looking to ult faster, because remember, ults that are used first generally get more value than ults that are used second. Okay, so still winnable game. Make sure coming in this fight, we're getting energy up. Then we're going through and mowing people down. That is the plan.
I mean, we lost 3 already. Pretty sure this is over.
Alright, so bubble usage, make sure we're just remembering those basic principles. Sometimes, like, whenever we're using our bubbles, we're just playing very passively. Like, we'll just we'll kind of sit there and we'll expect them to come to us and them to shoot us. Yes, they're the ones who shoot us, but are they going to want to shoot us? No, they don't want to shoot us. So, what we want to do is to kind of trick them into shooting us. So that means that we can push more aggressively, we can shoot at them, we can stand still, right? When we do those things, when we push aggressively, it makes them look at us because they're going, oh, this guy's running forwards. When we stand still, it makes it easier for them to land their shots, and they're like, oh, this guy's standing still, let me shoot at him for free. When you end up shooting at them, they want to shoot back at you instinctively, right? It pressures them, it makes them want to shoot at you. So we don't want to just sit in the back and let them bubble us. We want to be, let them shoot at our bubbles. We want to be pushing forwards and making them want to shoot at our bubbles. Additionally, just remembering with both of our bubbles, we bubble when people are looking at us and shooting at us. Situation like in the last fight where we bubbled the Brig who has like one person shooting at her versus the Reinhardt who has 4 people on him and he's 1 HP, right? So looking for situations where people actually need your bubble.
Gotcha. What's the best way to increase awareness of like what your team is doing? Like if you You know, like, cause I guess sometimes I feel lost because like, you know, people are going in all different directions and
Make sure that you're turning around more often. We are not turning around very often. Just as a quick check, if you take your mouse and you put it on the left side of your mouse area and you drag it to your right side, how far can you turn? Okay, that's not enough. You should be at the very minimum able to do 1 360 because you need to be able to do turns easily enough, right? That's usually a good minimum benchmarker of can I do 1 360 from left to right? Because that means that either direction you turn, you can do a 180, right? Make sure you're turning around frequently because this gives you information of who's behind you. When you don't turn around, then you don't know what's happening. Okay. Additionally, make sure you're keeping your ears open. And then, as we've talked about in the past, with working on paying attention and awareness, we've talked about make sure you're focusing on it, right? Make sure we're just actively paying attention. Yeah, right now we're at 100%. We just killed, 4 out of 6 of them. So we're playing really aggressive. And now some of them are coming back, and we have to see, do we have our team with us? Okay, Grasp is the same as Bubble. Are they looking at me? Are they shooting at me? Alright. Junkrat's not looking at us. He's not shooting at us. Push that Mercy. She's going, when you see a Mercy go into a room by herself, that's a perfect opportunity to go and kill her. And that also means that we miss out on on stopping the res. So just remember, team comp dictates playstyle. If they're on Mercy, then we gotta watch for those reses, watch those dead bodies. And even if she didn't have res, we still want to push her and kill her in that situation.
Activating the barrier. Retrieving the barrier.
Okay, doing a lot of blind rocks. Make sure that we can actually see people when we're rocking. Oh.
yeah, a tire just came out of there.
Double kill.
That music. It's playing again.
Join me later.
Okay, those guys are very far pushed forwards, right? Look at where they are in comparison to their teammates. So might be able to push the Roadhog if he's by himself, in this room. So that's an example of an opportunity where when we see that opportunity, we can get really aggressive and push up to like 100% essentially, right? 90%, something like that. That's the same thing with when we saw the Mercy. Very nice hook block. Very smooth. Just in case you weren't aware, you can't block beams and whatnot, so you can't block with your grasp, you can't block Winston's Tesla, and you can't block Moira's Coalescence. Make sure you keep that in mind because we've tried to grasp against Monkey again. We've tried to grasp against Monkey like 4 times. Not gonna do anything at all. Yeah, at this point, it's probably better that we let them kill us because we're probably not gonna make it out, except for they just kind of let us walk out, so that's a little bit different, I suppose. For some reason, the Monkey ran away. Drop shield when you're not using it. Don't drop from high ground unnecessarily. Okay, grasp. You want to think of grasp as pretty much the exact same as bubble. To get people to shoot into grasp intentionally, you can push forwards, get more aggressive, shoot at people, stand still. When you want to be doing it when people are looking at you and shooting at you, and then there's also things that won't give you any like it'll just go through your grasp, right? Like Winston Tesla, with the Moria coalescence, right? That we just can't eat at all, right? So make sure we're paying attention to those things because we have been doing it, grasping a decent bit against them. Yeah, when monkey's that far forwards without a jump, that's a opportunity to push and get aggressive. Okay, when you see that Mercy going for res, that's maybe an example of a situation where we could use a flux or something to try to stop it. Okay.
Oh, I tried to get on that top scene, but I couldn't get up there.
I'm on fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure we're
Grasp
not.
is useless.
Yep. Make sure we're not hesitating to use like our ultimate and stuff like that, because we saw like 1 or 2 instances where like there were a bunch of people grouped up, right? Like for example, right, like probably 3 seconds before we fluxed, there was a group of like 3 or 4 people grouped up on top, enemies grouped up on top of each other. But then we waited 3 seconds and then fluxed, and then by that point it was 1 person, right?
Yeah.
So make sure that we're watching for when we're ulting, right? With grav and flux, we're not fluxing and grabbing with the expectation that we're gonna ult and then they're all gonna want to run into your ultimate, right? It's in fact it's the opposite. They're gonna want to run out of your ultimate. So when we use our ultimate, we want to wait for them to all group up into this tiny little ball so that we can get everybody together, as many people as possible. So wait for them to group up, then go for your ult. Make sure we're not, we're watching for those opportunities, because we had a couple that we could have gone for that we didn't.
Gotcha.
Okay, overall, grasp work needed a lot of work there. Your shield work is actually not too shabby at all. Shield was looking pretty solid. And then rock, I think just practicing the mechanics of it, because I don't think you're placing a ton, and then also just working on the when, because sometimes we'd kind of blind fire it, so we would like just use it when we couldn't see anybody and then hope that people walk into it. Like once again with the rock, it's like the same thing as the ultimates, is like don't expect people to want to move into your abilities, right? That's usually not how it works. They want to go away from your stuff, so don't just fire a rock expecting somebody to all of a sudden pop into your rock. Make sure you're looking to use it when you can actually see people and hit people. Okay, we were forwards a little long. You got the right memo. You held back at this next choke, but make that rotation faster. You're up there for 1 fire strike, and then you're back immediately. Okay. Let them walk through that choke to you. Right now we're kind of sitting in the middle of it, putting ourselves in bad positioning. Don't get impatient, let them come to you. There's no reason to push there, and then in fact that, us pushing there gets us killed.
Yep, and a trap.
So just let them come through that choke.
I will not give up the fight.
They have been revived.
Oh jeez.
Okay. Evaluate.
He's gonna
Can I get
die.
out? Yep.
Yeah.
Just situation where you probably should have let them kill you faster. Additionally, if we're keeping our ears open to the tire and we know it's coming right side, in that situation, if we just tilt our shield just a couple inches to the right and maybe walk a couple inches to the right, we save at a very minimum all of our health and one additional teammate, maybe two teammates there. Just by tilting our shield a little bit. Have you ever gone over Reinhardt?
I don't think so.
Don't think so? Okay. For the moment, just note there's been a lot of sitting around and shielding. Reinhardt's not a character that just sits around and hard shield bots. That's not how he as a character operates. So make sure that
Okay.
when the fight's happening, we're in there swinging. But of course, again, it's knowing when do we get aggressive, when do we play passive. Okay. Yep, so Reinhardt aggression is just a. Somehow you skipped there too over the cart. That was weird.
Yeah, and I still killed him. I don't know. It was
Yep.
wild.
But yeah, in general, right, you have to, on Reinhardt, your aggression is going to fluctuate a lot, right? Your aggression scaling. One moment, you're going to be at 100% aggression, and the next moment, you might be at 0% aggression, right? It's going to fluctuate, say, like, with when you're swinging, when you're shielding. One moment you're swinging, next moment you're shielding. The second to last death, we died because of the fact that we kept on swinging when we should have shielded just 2 seconds earlier, and we would have been fine. So make sure we're being aware of that. All right, so let's see. Why don't we talk about a couple Reinhardt concepts? Trying to think. We could, like, we have the time. Do you want to add in one more? Would you rather have like one more coaching, or like, sorry, one more game of coaching, or get into the playtime early? Like, because right now we're at we're at 16 minutes left, and then probably like 8 of that is the review.
No, let's go over it and then we can play some. It's
Okay,
fine.
that works. So let's go over some stuff. Stop watching. All right. So over here on Reinhardt. So Reinhardt, fire strikes pretty fine, charge pretty okay. Shield management was probably the one that needed the most work, right? Essentially there's times to shield, times not to shield. Let's see. I don't know if I want to. I guess let's just go over a couple things. So, as a reminder, now could be a time where you work on this. Like while we're talking, it's just like 360. You should be able to do, like, at the very least. This gets you 180 each direction. Makes it so that you can you're able to, whenever you're playing, just turn around at a moment's notice to check behind you, right? No matter what direction you're trying to turn in. Now other things here on Reinhardt, when you are swinging and going in and doing damage, make sure you're swinging your camera, right? Because then you can hit more people at once, right? If you're looking at one single person, you hit one single person. If you swing your camera, then I can hit 2+ people all at the same time. And typically a very easy way to do this is just follow the direction of your hammer. Hammer goes left, hammer goes right, hammer goes left, Hammer goes right. So that's just a very easy way to swing at people, hit multiple people at the same time. Fire Strike, techie thing is that it has a charge up animation. So instead of just sitting here and then fire striking, we can sit around the corner, not take any damage, press the button, and then turn the corner, and then we're only around that corner for half of a second. Let's see. Are you familiar with how to shield hop or what it is and when to do it?
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I'm not sure exactly how to do it.
Yeah, okay. So you're aware what it is. Why it's useful is because if we are just to walk forwards and not shield at all, then we get absolutely shredded, right? We just take so much damage that we die. If we were to walk forwards, try to get to people, and we hard shield, well, then we are walking super slowly, and then they have more time to shoot at us, more time to shred us, and by the time we get there, we don't have any shield. And then if we don't have any shield when we get there, how are we going to be able to escape or be able to block ultimates and abilities and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Now, shield hopping is the mix between the two. When we do this, we move forwards much, much faster, and it also means that we take less shield damage, right? So that gets us there sooner. Overall, we all take less damage. It also means that we're rotating the damage between our shield and all of our healths of our teammates, right? Which means that overall, we are all taking a little bit of poke damage, which isn't very much. You'll probably heal up through it very easily, and then your shield takes less damage overall. So that just gets you in there faster without getting shredded. So
Am I doing this right?
I'm not watching your stream. Let me see.
Oh.
You good? Might do it at slightly faster pacing. Just yep, looks perfect. You can also do it backwards too if you hold S. Oh, yeah, there you go.
All right.
Yep. So that's pretty much how you do it. You want to be doing that. Yep, you want to be shield hopping whenever you are pushing forwards or backing up through, trying to do it fast, right? Not slowly. Now a little bit more on shield management. So you have specific times where you use your shields. You use your shield when you are low, when your teammates are low, when you're blocking ultimates and abilities. You use it when you are taking a crap ton of damage. Like let's say your whole team is in a grav and you need to shield to keep you all alive, right? You also need to shield when you're pushing forwards and taking space and you're backing up. That's when we're talking about shield hopping. There's a lot of other here and there things, right? When you do not need to be shielding is against just everyday random spam damage. When you're just sitting there before the fight begins and you're just doing this. Not needed. All that's doing is just shredding your shield when you could just be around that corner not taking any damage, waiting for them to come to you, right? So analyze the situation, think, do I actually need to swing? Do I need to, or sorry, do I need to shield? And then don't shield if you don't need to shield, and then that preserves the life longer as well. Another thing with your shield, if you put it inside of a wall, this encourages, if you standing right here, means that you and your whole team is not near cover. Stand over here and hold corner. Now your team is near cover. Additionally, if you put your shield in the wall, it will take less damage because they have less shield to shoot at, which means that they have less surface area to damage. Okay. Additionally, are you aware of the fact that you can look behind you while you're shielding?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Good. Make sure you're using that because you're able to do that before you push on all tanks. Make sure that you're checking behind you anytime you're pushing forwards and getting aggressive. Before we push, we're doing a quick scan. Do I have my team? Yes, I do. Let's go. No, I don't. Let me wait here a little bit for them to come. Okay, now we can push, right? So make sure we're scanning, being aware of where they are. Okay, I believe that is pretty much it for Reinhardt. You're aware on Sigma that your grasp gives you shield health, yep?
Yeah.
Yep, alright. Just checking there. Sigma with his ultimate, a lot of the time I did not see us actively looking to follow up and do damage, so we would, and same thing with Grav too, is we would grab and we'd Sigma Flux and then we just kind of leave him there, right? We wouldn't go in and do damage, right? When we grab our Sigma Flux, we want to go in and push and do extra damage because then that's how we actually secure kills. If we grab them, it's not a guarantee of a kill. And if we Sigma Flux, it's not a guarantee of a kill. So we can't just Flux and then walk away. We need to Flux and then stay to kill them. So make sure you're shooting into your grabs and your Sigma Fluxes. Sigma Flux, when you do it, you only have a limited amount of time. So your best combo to go for is you flux, you shoot at somebody once while they're in the air, and that's all. That's it. That's all you can do. Then you do once while they're on the floor. It doesn't have to be the same person. It can be the same person, but once in the air, once on the floor, because once they slam to the ground, they're stunned for a second. So you can see that like this. I'm going to, and then on a squishy target, all you need to do is hit them with one barrage, because notice how that gets them below half HP, and then they die to the flux, right? So I can go and ult them up here. Okay, let me wait from the group up. Okay. One in the air, one on the ground, right? So that's what it
I
looks
gotcha.
like. That way you can essentially get 2 kills out of that if you're doing it correctly, pretty much on most of them. But yep, that's I believe that's it for techie things. Yeah, that's it for techie things for the moment. Okay, so main points, review, whatnot. Played a bunch of different characters here. Zarya,
Together, we
keep
are
a lot of the
stronger.
same old, right? With all the different things. Zarya, bubbles. Make sure we're getting good bubbles. You know how to get good bubbles. You had good bubbles in the past. Today we struggled a little bit with it. Get aggressive, right? When we're bubbling, we don't want to just like it. Bad bubbles, right? Or I guess how we were playing it is they're all the way over there, and we'll bubble, and or I guess I don't know how do I describe this. How we were doing it.
They're not
Um,
facing me.
say that
not
again.
not shooting at me.
Yeah, it's kind of like we would do this, like imagine like this, right? Where the fight's happening like all over there, right? And we're just and they maybe can see us, but we're bubbling back here.
Bring it.
Versus we could push forwards, hold on be a lot closer to them, shoot at them, say, "Hey, look at me," stand still, make them want to shoot at you, right? And then we bubble when they're looking at us and shooting at us, right? Remember, we're looking at us, shooting at us. So just make sure that you're making them want to look at you and shoot at you. Remember your jump right click tech. Zarya overall ability usage is probably pretty high because we struggled with bubbles today. So make sure we're just paying attention to bubbles, getting those in there, getting good. Probably like medium high for your bubble usage, or medium, somewhere around that. I know you know how to get good bubbles. Moving on. Grav usage, make sure that we're waiting for them to all group up, and we're watching for them to group up, and then we're grabbing. Don't expect them to go into your grav. Might be a little hesitant at lobbing them because in general, projectiles are difficult to land at range. So if you're throwing a grab from here to over there, by the time it gets there, they've already moved out of the way. Or by the time it gets there, it's already blocked by a shield. Or by the time it gets there, it's already eaten up by a diva defense matrix, right? So I would, and then also on top of that, if we lob in a grab from here, how are we gonna be able to shoot into that,
Yeah.
right? So typically, when you're not every and all situations, but typically when you're grabbing, it wants to be close to you. Okay. Probably around the same thing with your Sigma Flux as well. Okay.
Okay.
Make sure that we're not ulting in won or lost fights. Of course, ult first. Make sure we're using our ultimates first in fights. Don't hold on to it. And then overall, probably around the same as your ability usage. Why don't we just tie both of those at medium priorities for you to work on?
Okay.
Okay. Mechanics, target, couple target priority things, couple left click versus right click things. Probably just push forwards and left click a bit more than we were. Besides that, not a ton of big things. Low to medium priority. Then in general, positioning. Positioning, make sure we're using cover, that we're, make sure we're paying attention to that so we're not dying, because we died a couple times to that, and then we also took a lot of the extra damage because of that. Make sure that we are, let's see, taking high grounds, don't randomly drop from high grounds, right? Just all that same old, same old. Anything new? Push into your range of left click sometimes. Besides that, is there anything else on this thing by Reinhardt? Make sure choke points. So choke points and No Man's Land. I believe we've talked about both of those, yeah.
Extensively, yeah.
Yep. So that means make sure that you're holding on the back end. Don't be impatient. Let them come to you. If you have point over here and choke point right here, then they can't just sit on the other side of the map. They have to come to you. So don't feel like you're pressured to push up there if you're on the defensive. Hold back around the corner, let them come to you, right? Use that choke, put them in that bad positioning. Don't put yourself in the bad positioning. Um, Overall positioning is probably around like a medium as well. Then moving on to awareness, paying attention to awareness, I guess awareness slash aggression, right? Paying attention to what's happening with my health bar, what's my teammates doing, right? Looking around us, paying attention to where are they all at, where's the enemy team at, what's happening in kill feed, what should my aggression scaling be, right? Paying attention to your audio awareness. Make sure that we are just like aggression scaling, right? Tip in general didn't really go very high above the 70 mark. Knowing when to be super aggressive, when not to be super aggressive, right? In general, a couple situations where we just could have gotten more aggressive. You get more aggressive when you have opportunities. You get more aggressive when you have at massive advantages. So watch for those. Overall, that was probably like a medium high, something like that, around that range. Reinhardt and Sigma, ability usage
Activating the barrier.
probably goes to like a low to medium priority. We did pretty good with it. Just actually, let's say medium priority for ability usage, same as Zarya. Then ultimate usage, probably medium, same as Zarya. Reinhardt, we didn't actually see. We saw you one shatter, not a big deal. Low priority, and then ability usage, probably medium. So just all ability usage is medium, and then Reinhardt's shatter wasn't an issue. Okay, so to put that all in order, real quick for you. Awareness slash aggression, number 1. Probably number 2 comes in at the ability usage for all those different characters. Number 3 comes in at positioning. Number 4 comes in at ultimate usage. And then number 5 comes in... Actually, you know what? I'm reversing those. Ultimate usage comes above positioning. Then number 4 is positioning. And then number 5 is going to be your mechanics. With that not doing too shabby. And then that is about it. Any questions about anything that we've gone over or anything else in general? And then you can
No, I
also...
think that's good.
Yeah? Okay. Well, you also feel free to think them up while we're going through our playtime. Alright?
All right.
Would you like me to continue recording? Do you have any preference at all?
It's up to you, man. I don't have any preference.
I have any preference? Alright, well then I'll just stop because